2001 was a busy year for hip-hop. We had a wave of new artists dropping debut albums that were classics. They brought something new to the table, and the game hasn't been the same since. First up, we got Brooklyn's own Fabulous. When Ghetto Fabulous dropped, it was like the streets were waiting on it. John David Jackson came through with smooth flows, witty wordplay, and he was spitting real talk over hard-hitting beats. Can't Deny It with the legendary n.e.r.d became an instant classic. Fabulous had that effortless swagger and that street charm that just drew you in. The album went platinum, selling over 1 million units and sold millions more in his later albums. He had some run-ins with the law, but he still became the voice of the streets, and his impact is undisputed. Next up, we got Pharrell and Chad, the masterminds behind n.e.r.d. Pharrell and Chad formed the Neptunes in the 90s and made beats for other artists, but formed n.e.r.d. and came from behind the scenes. And their first album, In Search Of, was a revolution. Along with Shay Haley, they took hip-hop, rock, funk, and threw it all in a blender, and what came out was magic. They were also criticized for not sounding like anybody else in hip-hop at the time. Later on, the Neptunes started having success in front of the camera after their side project of n.e.r.d. And Pharrell Williams went on to have a lot of solo accomplishments for many years afterwards. We got the Locks General himself, Jadakiss. When Kiss the Game Goodbye dropped, it was like a punch to the gut. Jadakiss came through with that raw, gritty lyricism and that streetwise storytelling. Tracks like We Gonna Make It and Knock Yourself Out were for the hustlers and the grinders. Jada's raspy voice was powerful, his delivery unmatched, and his lyrics straight from the heart. He earned the respect of his peers and solidified his place as one of the realest in the game. Last, we go to the trap with T.I. In 2001, his first album, I'm Serious, dropped. T.I. came through with that southern drawl, that undeniable charisma, and the hard-hitting beats, and he was already calling himself the king of the South. I'm Serious, the title track itself, was a declaration that T.I. was here to stay, and it was the early days of trap music. He brought that southern swagger to the forefront, and the game hadn't been the same since. I'm Serious didn't have a commercial success, but his next 6 albums in a row went platinum. It sold millions, and his troubles with the law didn't stop him. He's a businessman, an entrepreneur, and a visionary. His impact on hip-hop was undeniable, and his legacy as a legend is solidified. We just took a trip back to 2001. These artists brought something new to the table. Their influence can still be felt today. These albums were a movement, and not just a moment in time. They paved the way for the debut albums of 2002, but for 2001, it's a wrap.